Hello everybody, it's Shady here, and today I want to give my initial thoughts on Expedition 33. So, I was lucky enough to get it a day early. I'd pre-ordered it a few months back, and yeah, it just turned up on sort of midday yesterday. So I've managed to put in a few hours into the game, which yeah, I'm going to tell you about now. But before we talk about that, first of all, I want to praise the game for a few things which I think need to be stated. First of all, yeah, the game, physical editions of the game are £50, which is awesome. Obviously this is technically an independent game. I guess you can call it a AA game. So yeah, it's great that they've gone for that pricing model. And then obviously if you buy it digitally, you can buy it for $45, slightly cheaper. Right now on PlayStation Plus, you get 10% off as well. So just around 40 quid basically you're getting it for, which is awesome. And it's also included within Game Pass. So yeah, very easily accessible, which is amazing. Yeah, and also the game, including what's on disc and the day one patch, it's under 50 gigabytes, which is amazing. Yeah, too many games are like way too big. Like Oblivion Remastered is like 120 gigabytes, which is insane. I know that's a much larger scale game, but still it's like, you know, it feels like a lot of games are just bloatware at this point. It's like insane how big they are. But anyway, now let's talk about the game itself. So if you guys aren't aware, so this game is basically like a traditional old school turn-based JRPG using Unreal Engine 5. This is developed by a French studio of ex-Ubisoft employees, which I actually wasn't aware of till more recently. It's obviously splintered off and obviously didn't want to just keep doing like Assassin's Creed games in the usual slot that Ubisoft do, so they moved on to do their own thing. And what I really like about this game, first and foremost, is the visual presentation. So this is a full Unreal Engine 5 game, and you can tell because it looks incredible. After the opening cutscene, the first view that you see is the main character looking over this balcony, and you can see this just beautiful looking city, and you get like a little bit of time to explore as well and really take it in. But obviously it really kicks off when you start the expedition and go on to like the mainland of the island, and yeah, there's some just really beautiful looking places, and yeah, it's incredible. Obviously next up I want to talk about the actual gameplay as well. What I really like is obviously it's a turn-based RPG, but obviously like a lot of modern ones, we have roaming enemies instead of turn-based encounters, which is kind of just a standard thing, but still really great, you know. We've actually got like an overworld that you can kind of explore, you know, like old school, you know, Final Fantasy and other JRPGs, where you kind of, you know, you traverse between maps or between kind of towns and dungeons. Also, yeah, this has like traditional dungeons as well, which is amazing, like an older RPG. Yeah, which is awesome. Now the battle system. So one thing that, I mean, I like and hate this at the same time. So the annoying thing is there's like quick time events in this battle system. So you have to press button. You have to like press the buttons at the right time to do extra damage for your moves. And then there's like a dodging and parrying system, which is cool, but yeah, it's just the timing is a bit annoying. It takes a little bit getting used to. I actually died to a couple of enemies because I wasn't able to get the dodge or the parrying time quite down. So basically dodging is easier, but parrying is a little trickier. But if you do a few in succession, you can do like a really powerful counterattack, which is really good. Cool system, risk reward sort of system. Yeah, I don't know, for me personally, I prefer my turn-based combat games just to be turn-based. I don't really like these real-time elements, but it's still interesting. Cool mechanic. You know, other RPGs have done this before, so I can't complain too much. One thing I do like though is that you actually have a gun which you use, and you can shoot enemies, actually aim with a reticle, hit them in their weak spots, do extra damage, which is cool. And yeah, another thing I really like is basically when you attack you get AP, which then you can use on you know, for your spells and the like. So, you know, you don't really have to worry about running out of MP. So you can kind of get it as you go, which is awesome. Another thing is you don't heal between battles automatically, but you do have like rest spots and stuff. And when you're in the overworld, you can just camp out anywhere at any time, which is cool. And when you rest, enemies respawn, almost like a Souls-like game, which is kind of cool. And then you also use these kind of resting spots to upgrade abilities and distribute stat points. Because you have levels, but then you also gain 3 stat points per level, which you can allocate on like 6 different stats or something like that, which is all really good. Yeah, so gameplay-wise, really solid. Yeah, next up, obviously, you know, we have to talk about the actual gameplay itself, or the story, sorry. Obviously, the kind of the build-up to the story. We're essentially in this world, we have this kind of omnipotent figure called the Paintress, who you can kind of see off the island. There's this like giant globe thing that has the number 34, and basically every year the number goes down, and then people who are of that age die. So it starts off with, I don't want to spoil too much, but our main character, he meets someone who he loves, and we have this really powerful moment where everyone's on the beach, and you basically see all these people perish. Very powerful moment, and then it begins with us going on the expedition. So all the people who are 33, for the most part, go on these expeditions. They've been doing this every year for a number of years now, trying to reach the Paintress to defeat her, so they can, you know, stop mankind from dying. But obviously there's a little more to it, because what's really cool is when we reach the island, things go wrong pretty much straight away, and we're kind of scrambling along. Everyone gets separated, people just get taken out quite easily. We see this other character who is old, or much older than everyone else. So it's very strange, like what is actually going on? There's clearly more to this. And another thing I really like is when we're exploring, we actually see the corpses of prior expeditions, and a lot of the lore is about what they've done. So there's a bit where we climb up and they say this is Expedition 69, who obviously laid the path to for this one to be able to move forward. So as we're getting deeper, we're seeing other expeditions and where they've reached. Yeah, and it's all really cool. Obviously, another thing I've got to talk about is the voice acting is really good. Thoroughly enjoy Ben Starr as the main guy, and a lot of the other cast, really good voice actors. It's even got Andy Serkis in there, which is amazing. Yeah, so far, I've only done a few hours, defeated the first kind of major boss, kind of reached the next big area. But yeah, I'm loving it so far. Yeah, and the only kind of gripes I have is it kind of, you know, but this is because I guess it's technically still an indie game, but like the facial animation is not very good and a little bit jarring, even though the visuals are really good. The actual details and everything, the textures are great. It's just those facial models look a bit, yeah, not the best. But yeah, we can forgive that. And it's kind of it feels a little glitchy here and there. And you know, going from gameplay to cutscene isn't the best. Another thing, obviously I'm playing on PS5 Pro, and basically you have the option for a performance and a frame rate mode, or graphics and performance mode. So obviously 4K 30 or 1080p 60. But on the Pro, if you play in performance mode, it's what looks like, to me anyway, I'm not Digital Foundry obviously, but it looks like a 4K 60 kind of deal. I'm assuming it's using PSSR to reach 4K, and it looks really good. The only annoying thing is it defaults to the graphics mode, which is annoying. So yeah, you might want to change that first thing. Yeah, I'm assuming yeah, PS5 and Series X is probably, you know, 4K 30 or 1080 60, and then I'm assuming Series S is probably just like 1080 30 or 1440 30 or something like that. Probably doesn't have the performance mode. Not too sure on that. But yeah, really good game so far. Cannot wait to play more of it. And yeah, obviously when I'm done with it, I'll give my final thoughts, tell you guys what I think. But so far, it's really good. I would definitely say if you're a fan of JRPGs, turn-based combat, anything like that, yeah, definitely pick it up. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day.